Pompeii is a place that we know from the history books. It is a place where the fates of the people changed overnight. Today, we are taking a day trip from Sorrento to explore the history of Pompeii. We took a local train from Sorrento station in order to reach Pompeii. Like many other ancient cities, Pompeii was also covered on all sides by a huge wall. As we enter via Porta Marina, we first get to see the suburban baths. The communal baths were a common feature in many ancient Roman cities. It proves that the ancient Romans liked to keep themselves clean. The paintings and the mosaics that we see in this particular building are really impressive. While we explore this site, let us take a brief look at the history of Pompeii. Pompeii was a city in the south of ancient Rome. It was nestled along the coast of Italy in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, which was an active volcano. Its most famous eruption took place in the year 79 AD when it buried the city of Pompeii under a thick carpet of volcanic ash. Walking down the marina, we will first stop at the Temple of Apollo. The Temple of Apollo is an impressive structure where the columns of the temple are still intact. It is a windy day at Pompeii, and we are walking down to the central forum. This is an ancient zebra crossing where you hop on the stones to cross the road.
This is travertine marble, very precious. And there is the portrait of Fortune, personification of good luck.
Now we are entering the baths again. There are both hot and cold bath areas in this complex. This complex is an ancient lupanare, which translates to a brothel.
O sea, como los hombres en lugar público. Más alto, ¿ves? Lugar público, pero de nivel lo más bajo, desde el punto de vista social y económico.
These tanks were used for harvesting rainwater. These are like food stalls in the ancient times. These containers were used to store the goods for selling to the customers. This is the Teatro Piccolo, which means a small theatre. Now we are entering the Theatre Grand. The Grand Theatre was used primarily for performing tragedies. This is an ancient drainage system that runs along the road. Now we are entering the Canceria of Pompeii, which is the ancient tannery. The tanning tools are more or less intact in their respective places. These large tubs were used for washing leather. We are entering the Casa del Menandro, which is an ancient house in the city of Pompeii.
This is the tablino for the office of the owner, the reception room. On both sides where there are the columns, there are false and marks. It means that once here there was a door, because it gives privacy to the owner. Okay, there were some paleobotanical inquiries. The number. Klein is the bed in Greek. I think you watch some movies. Inside, if you have a look on the left, you can see the other two rooms in which paintings are not in the house. Another way to see the others, the possibility of house.
If you look closely, you will see the inhabitants of the house sleeping in here. The volcanic eruption was so sudden that many of the people could not escape, and the things that we see in these houses are as they have left it in that fateful moment. These things are frozen in time as a reminder of the lives of the people who were living here at that catastrophic moment. Pompeii is a living example of the fragile nature of human life. It is a heart-rending sight to see the children and adults lying on the ground to protect themselves from the volcanic ash that was covering Pompeii on the fateful day. We have now reached the Necropoli di Porta Nocera. It is one of the ancient burial grounds of Pompeii. After crossing the necropolis, we will gradually move towards the other gate of the city of Pompeii. This is the Grand Palace, which has been converted into a museum, which has the relics of many things that were used in the city of Pompeii at the time of the volcanic eruption. We can see here some grains that were frozen in time by the volcanic ash before moving on to the bread that was eaten by the citizens of Pompeii. Here we can explore the pottery making skills of the citizens of Pompeii. The central courtyard of the palace was used as a gymnasium. We are now entering the Colosseum of Pompeii. We will enter the Colosseum through the gate that was used by the gladiators in the ancient times. This amphitheater is also an equivalent of the Colosseum of Rome. The artwork can hardly encapsulate the harrowing experience of the citizens of Pompeii on the last day of their lives. The holes on the ground were usually used to regulate the water level inside the Colosseum. Can you spot the umbrella-like tree in the distance? The account of these trees is found in Pliny the Junior's historical accounts of the city of Pompeii. The frescoes on the walls of the Casa della Venere are breathtaking. Once you enter the building, you will be first seeing the courtyard, which has a beautiful garden. On the sides, there are several rooms. You cannot help but wonder at the artistic skills of the people of Pompeii. Seeing the grand houses of Pompeii, one tends to assume that the city was only inhabited by rich people, but that is not the case. The entire region of Pompeii is divided into 9 districts, and each of the districts have specialities of its own. This district happens to be the area where most of the rich people were living. Hence, we find these grand houses here. This looks like the remains of an ancient bakery. If you enjoyed our tour of Pompeii, we request you to subscribe to our channel and follow us for more such videos.